This is going to be a walkthrough of your weekly quiz macros. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you open this assignment is to watch this video. It will give you some helpful information so that you can be successful in this assignment. After you've watched that video, then you can create and run your macro. After you have done that, you will need to submit your macro in the quiz, and I will talk about how you can do that after I get this done. So I'm going to take you through all of these steps. A macro is simply a recording of all of your keystrokes in a Word document. So we're going to go through all of these steps. So the first thing I need is a blank Word document. So here's my new document that I've created. And the very first instruction is to go to the View tab where I can find my macros. So I click this down arrow and I can either view macros, which I don't have any made yet, or I can record a macro. So this is going to record all of my keystrokes, and then I'm going to assign it to a shortcut key that has not already been assigned to anything so that I can quickly run the macro. So I'm going to name my macro with no spaces. And then I want to assign it to a keyboard key. So I'm going to select something that I know has not been assigned on my computer, and that is Alt-D. And it tells me right here that it is unassigned. So you want to pick something that is unassigned and then assign it. So I can close this. So the very first thing, we need to go back to the Home tab, and we need to set a couple of tabs. So under paragraphs, I click this little arrow and go down here to tabs. Now be very aware, if your computer is set for centimeters, then you need to pick whatever centimeter measure is at about the middle of the page and then at the edge of the page for your tabs, or change your ruler to inches. So the first tab, I need a left tab at 3 inches. So I have a left tab, 3 inches. I'm going to click set, and it shows up down here. So that shows me it is set. Now I need a tab at 6.5 inches, and I need it to be a right tab. So I'm going to click set. So it shows up right here. So now I have a tab at 3 inches and then a right tab at 6.5 inches. So I can click OK. All right, the next instruction is to go to the spacing and set spacing to single with no space after. So I'm going to go up here to my line and paragraph spacing. I'm going to choose line spacing options. I'm going to go down to line spacing, and I want it to be single. And then after, I want it to be 0. So 0 spaces after, and then click OK. That sets that. All right, now that my spacing is set and my tabs are set, I'm ready to go with the rest of the instructions. So and as you can see in my cursor, that little icon shows that my keystrokes are being recorded. So I will tab over once, and that takes me to about the middle of the page at my 3-inch tab. I'm going to select underline so that it turns underline on. I will hit tab once, and that takes me over to my 6.5-inch tab. Now I will turn underline off, hit enter, tab once to get to the 3-inch mark. Now I need to turn on bold and type my name. Then I need to turn off bold, hit enter, tab once, and type my title. You can write student here if you don't have another title. Then I will hit enter, tab once, and my email address. And then hit enter. Now I need to go back up to view because my I'm still recording, but I'm done. So I need to go to the macros and stop recording. Okay, so now I can test out my macro and see if it worked. If you'll recall, I set mine, the shortcut key, as Alt D. So I'm going to hit Alt D and it runs the macro and it does everything that I did. And even though it took me time to do the steps, it does it very quickly. All it pays attention to is each step. It doesn't take into account how much time it took me in between steps. It just runs all of the steps. Okay, so now that it's done, there are two ways that you can turn this in. The first way is do a screen recording of your macro running. So I would record my screen and make the macro run. Then upload that recording to the quiz, right into the quiz. If you don't know how to do that, that's okay. You need to, the second way to turn it in is to go up here to macros and view the macro. So I see I only have one macro, so I select that macro and I want to select edit. So it opens up this window where I can see all of the code within the macro. I want to put my cursor at the very top and left click and select everything. Every single piece of code all the way down to end sub. With that all selected, I would copy that and paste that into the quiz. If you are doing this on a Mac, there is one extra step you need to take, and that is to email this code to the instructor, Brother Plumber. So that is everything. All that is left then is to save this paper just in case something happens and I need to resubmit it. Good luck.